one state, Pennsylvania, has put more juveniles behind bars for life than anywhere else in the country. Of those people, Joe Ligon has the tragic distinction of being the oldest and longest-serving juvenile lifer in the country. He was recently released from a Pennsylvania prison after 68 years. CBS This Morning Saturday co-host Michelle Miller spoke with Ligon in his first television interview since his release. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning. Joe Ligon was released from prison back in February after a series of U.S. Supreme Court decisions found that those mandatory life without parole sentences for juveniles were unconstitutional. This highlights the issues of oversentencing in America's criminal justice system. And for Ligon, now a free man, he's entering a world, a modern world, he barely knows. What was the first thing you did as a free man?
I almost cried, okay, but I broke down with a big smile on my face. A free man, free at last.
83-year-old Joe Ligon was released from prison last month after serving nearly 7 decades for crimes he committed when he was 15. Ligon, the son of Alabama sharecroppers, was incarcerated when Dwight D. Eisenhower was president.
Good evening, my fellow Americans.
And Nat King Cole's Pretend was on the music charts.
Yeah, those buses there, they didn't exist when I was because they had the streetcar lines, yeah. Yeah.
He returns to a changed world.
I looked at it when I seen all these high buildings, but I expect to see that. They locked me up, they did. They didn't lock my mind up.
In 1953, Ligon and 4 other black teenagers were involved in an alcohol-fueled spree of robberies and stabbings in Philadelphia. 2 people died. What were you guilty of?
I was guilty with being at the wrong place at the wrong time. It wasn't with the intention of hurting nobody. I didn't murder anybody.
There are people out there who are going to watch, and they're going to say, he stabbed someone. He committed a crime. You say to them what?
I'm sorry that I committed a crime. I'm sorry that someone was murdered. I'm sorry about that.
Ligon concedes he did stab someone that night, but maintains he didn't kill anyone. He says he's a changed man. Did you feel remorse for what you did?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I had to feel remorse.
The teenagers were tried together.
It was a city hall.
When you were tried?
Yeah, that's what they told me.
They pleaded guilty and were convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison with no chance of ever getting out. Ligon's niece, Valerie, came to our interview because she wants to show the world Ligon has a supportive family.
Yeah, she told me. She told me all the stories.
His fate started to change in 2016 when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that all juvenile lifers should have a chance to be resentenced. But after nearly 7 decades behind bars, Ligon refused to be released on parole because he didn't want to be supervised for the rest of his life. So they kept fighting until a federal judge recently vacated his sentence. He was released without parole. You're free outright.
Outright. Thank you, Jesus.
Does Joe's case symbolize what's wrong with the criminal justice system?
First of all, it symbolizes that we really should sentence people individually based on who they are and what it was that they did. So a mandatory sentence doesn't do that. And the second thing is that children are particularly unique in their ability to grow, change, and reform themselves. And therefore, giving an adult sentence to a child is inherently wrong.
The world may have changed. Most of his immediate family is long gone. But Joe Ligon says he's not dwelling on the past.
There's nothing I can do about the past, but the only thing I can say, I just hope I have a better future.
And consider this, it cost the state of Pennsylvania $3 million to incarcerate Joe Ligon for those 68 years, and that's without any medical costs, Gail.
Damn, can you believe that? 1963 is when that man went to prison. He went to prison in 1963 and got out into this motherfucking world we know of with the internet, Instagram, motherfucking TikTok, everything. Man ain't never even used a computer. Maybe he did though. Maybe behind the walls, maybe they gave him that re-entry and that's where he used it. But I don't think that ever really prepares you for when you come out to this world and realize that everything is done. You know, you apply for rent, everything you do is on the phone, like email, all that shit. Like, this man has been behind these walls where the world stands still for 68 years. That's longer than some of y'all ever been. That's longer than I've been alive. I mean, that's my life and then some. That's crazy though. Man did say something that was super powerful though. He said, you know, they locked me up, but they couldn't lock up my mind. And as deep and profound as that is, you know what I mean? Like, they did lock your body up, but that's the coldest kicker, because you can see how the man didn't age. And you really think, like, what else is there for this man to do out here in this world though now? I couldn't imagine being behind them walls for that long. Like, I know I did 11 and a half. I could imagine 60 plus years behind the walls you've definitely been institutionalized, and you've got, you know, things that you might not even recognize about yourself until you actually out here. I can only imagine for him to be out here in this world moving as fast as it is, because behind the walls, right, life be moving slow. But you know, it's crazy because he's guilty by association, right? Other than just being black. We know that played a huge part into the equation. I mean, in the 60s, I mean, you think about before the 60s, you had the 50s and the 40s, you know, that's when racial tension and all kinds of shit was still real every single day in a major way, right? But think about it though, you know, this goes to be said, because even in this day and age, you know, for a lot of you young cats that be watching, like, you may not be active and motherfucking that guy and that, but you hang around with motherfuckers who want to be like that or are trying to portray like that. And whenever they do some shit, it's gonna fall on you. You guilty by association. And when I was younger, I used to have a homeboy that I used to fuck with that was hella cool, but he was from the other side. And man, my big homies used to tell me, like, when they knock him off, they gonna knock you off too, because you guilty by association. So needless to say, you know, did I cut ties right away? Nah, but it really always made me think and be smarter when I'm around this cat, because I knew he had enemies that was from my side. You feel me? Like, and at the end of the day though, it's a cold reality that a man could be behind them walls. Like, life as he knows it has already came and went. Now he's got this small window of life left to get out here and enjoy some McDonald's and a motherfucking cooked meal of his own. But now he's got the weight of his world at the age of 60 plus years old to have to pay his bills, groceries, all this shit that the average person that's been out here and never been to jail, prison, is having a super hard time in this economy with the inflation and everything that's going on. The price of life is through the fucking roof and continues to raise, right? But you know, these are all behind a decision that was made in a motherfucking corrupt, ruthless ass, you know, government system that's set up for motherfuckers to get in the system. And once you get in the system, man, that motherfucker tries to chew you and swallow you and digest you. It don't want to let you out. Do you know how hard it is to get out the system? Because when you get out of a facility, right, you go on probation, you go on parole, and these things are set up for you to, you know, they just give you enough motherfucking room for you to fuck yourself over, basically. You know how many people get out here and just get enough room and they choke themselves out again and they fall back in there, and now they doing another 2, another 3. And we call that type of shit doing life on the installment plan. You feel me? Like, you did 2 years here, you did 3 here, maybe 5 there, you got out for a year. That's life on the installment plan. And, you know, I feel for the man though. I mean, there ain't no get back, and there's a gang of motherfuckers behind them walls. Boy, I tell you, that be just aging back there. Life just be coming and going. All they know and all they ever gonna know is just being in that motherfucking penitentiary, being in that cell, being around concrete, being around men 24/7, dealing with aggression every day, being frustrated with their situation and unable to do nothing about their situation, because their situation is going to be their situation because it's been handed down to you from that punk ass judge for the bad decisions you made. And you got to ride them motherfucking years out till you can get out there. But, you know, I thought I'd just share this video with you because it really made me think watching this shit. It's crazy to think that this man did so much time. It reminds me of that movie Life, and at the end of Life, you know how they did all that time and they got out? Man, in reality though, right? But y'all let me know what y'all think down there in them comments. And once again, we halfway through May right now, right? $50 is going to the top commenter. You see y'all down in them comments. Let me know what y'all thinking, because at the end of this month, I'm going to go ahead and bless whoever the top commenter is over this whole month span. Cash, Venmo app, whatever the fuck you want, I got you. Just drop them comments below. And should hit that like button if you ain't already. Until the next one, gone.